Okay. Greetings to the warriors of the tomorrow. But only if they are already children of today. Can they be warriors of tomorrow? And also only if they are warriors of today. They can be children of tomorrow. Okay, so everybody who is connected somehow with Eros Pavlos on his Bard's Divan here in Constance in April 25. You have seen the balcony of the Svinyas Hotel in the south of Crete. Some of you have been there, like the great bicycle man Chris Marsh, who is maybe today on Tenerife, bicycling or running or climbing the mighty Teide, the volcano. Maybe Semir today is preparing to fight the warrior tournament in Rijeka, tennis, Ljubicic Academy, and he's been also to the balcony over the Libyan Sea, and on the beach, Bergon too. Mighty waves of the Libyan Sea are washing the shore. So, and then Leo, who is maybe today talking endless talks about some symbols and signs in his software business. But he has a romantic inclination to support the warrior school. If maybe some of his ancestors have been warring like the knights of the Teutonic Order in Latvia or somewhere. And there is Andrejs, I hope I pronounced it correctly, Andrejs, my friend with whom I toured Crete some 10 years ago, maybe, I don't remember, because time has stopped for me since I have been given the mighty vision of the new warrior school on the south coast of Crete. Richardson has been with me to Yoyopole and maybe also Dicte, I don't know. So they can connect. They are both from Latvia, I think, where there may be some germs of the future European warrior school, because they are the descendants of the Teutonic tribes, Teutonic knights, Goths, and maybe some deep Slavic roots. No? Semir also, the warrior of the Archangel Gabriel, is of Gothic origin, because the Goths have traveled deep into the Balkan. And Pavlos, naturally, lying on his divan here, has been there 25 winters on the island of the Mother, and has written extensively, has made thousands of videos which nobody is looking at. And he has been given his warrior school young days, and he is much older than you. You are all about 35. Pavlos is 70. And he still speaks the warrior language. The warrior language is something which is boiling inside you and draws you to the sun in the morning, and lets you jump into the cold lake and raise your arms and shout in linga heroica, pagaramurton vadhatan bustri mudgaran baradon ormon. That what you have seen in Lord of the Rings is a cheap imitation of that. Okay, so, and then there is Christopher, who is trying to get younger and slimmer on the tennis field with Eros Pavlos, who understands the deep implication of overcoming the European decadence. So for all of you, November this year, 25, you should make time at least for 2 or 3 weeks to come to the Balconard, to come to the Svinas Hotel. November is the best time to come to Crete to discuss and practice the warrior school, no? Because the sea is still warm, beautiful sunshine. You leave Europe still, remembering the summer. The October will still be full of colors, and so you get on the last plane of Ryanair to get to Kenya, or you have more money, so you go a regular flight to Heraklion, and from there you rent a car, or we can somehow unite and rent one car together, or I pick you up when we rent one car together, and we go across the mother island to the south direction Mires. There we get some food in the little supermarket for the time, and cross the coastal mountains to the Balconar. Okay, Hotel Svinas, the last solid building on the solid road to the left, to the east from Kaoli Limenes. The good port, okay, and then we can discuss it. Then you can see the hotel Koutsakis, the Villa Koutsakis, which could be bought if there is some substantial financial support for the project. And we can do the programs, because this is most important, that you exercise and you become kind of creative and poetic, and you get the vision. Yeah? The vision must be real. It must be emotional. It must be pictorial. It must raise you to the young visions you have had in the most powerful days of your young days. And then only if you become a warrior of this time, you can become a child, which is a deep secret of our project, because we know the work of Nietzsche, that the new Übermensch, the Superman of the future, who can save Europe from decadence, will at the last stage of his transformations become a creative child. He will have visions, and he will, be embraced by the sun, by the waves, by the rocks, by the mountains, by the singing birds, and the Mother Earth herself will transform him. This converges with the lectures I have given on YouTube about the Sophia Gaia narrative, which describes the earth from a very, very different perspective than the Abrahamic religions. For Semir, a little side note, his admiration for Angel Gabriel is a kind of conglomeration or a unification of his childish, strong dreams of a Goth, of a warrior child born in Balkan, and naturally he could not find any other hero in his cultural realm than the angel Gabriel. But actually it is the Mother Earth speaking through him. Andrejs, who is I hope he is a real warrior still, was the real prototype of the Superman. On the mightiest level of his tigerish power, of his lion, refusing all rules, running on Crete and exercising silently. He was good, but he still has to become a child. He has still some 20 years for that. And Leo has a kind of romantic relationship to all this. It's a deep, deep calling inside of him, but he still has to live as a farmer, as a warrior for some years now. But he has been sent to us as an organizer. He is a born organizer. He spends his time with his ears on the smartphone and manages several people who work for him in the realm of the symbols. We are almost dying as Europe under the pressure of illusions, of secondary worlds, of software worlds, of various fake news and narratives, ideologies. This is what Nietzsche would all call, sum up and bind together under the name of Hinterwelt, the second world, the artificial world that will be always necessarily envisioned by the weaklings who cannot live in this one real world of the sea, of the sun, of the singing birds, of April. Now April is strong. April, I should remember you, is the month in which Eros Pavlos, when he was 25, when he was 50, and his beloved beauty, his fairy of fire and earth and water and wind and the moon and the sun, the gorgeous Michaela, was with him on the tour. She was 25, I was 50. We were on the tour to the southern Europe, to Sicily and to Italy and so on. And returning in February, we settled down in the mountains of Allgäu in the Alps. And as the April was, there is a poem by an English poet, which is the April is the cruelest month, mixes lilacs out of the dead land. April is the schrecklichste Monat, weil aus der toten Erde Krokusse hervorzaubert. Und was bedeutet das? What does it mean that poets who have lost their young power of vision and creativity and running and swimming, and they are reminded by the flowering of the spring of their young days, and this is a cruel memory, because when they get old, they are already not able to, to stand up in the morning as I did today, have a brushing all the body, standing under cold shower for a long time, then brushing the body again, oiling it with the olive oil from Crete, and standing in the sun with Beatles, She Loves You, yeah, and exercising half an hour to the sun, and feeling like I was 17, yes. So at this quality of my body and soul, which was culminating in the year 2004, in the spring, after we returned from the long journey to the south with my beloved fairy, she did not understand it. But she was, embalmed and penetrated by the erotic power of the elements. You have to take your girlfriend to those endless mountains and lakes and forests and so, because only then she will become the daughter of the Mother Earth, and then she will be fertile, and then you will unite. This will be a special seminar in the warrior school, because all warriors who will go through our school will then, when they reach this level of a tiger, they will be sent out. Lions, they will go out on the quest. They will have to live on their own, like Zarathustra also sends all his pupils away. when they become too dependent, when they become too institutionalized, when they become too attached to the school and think, now I will make a trainer here and I will get my pension and there are so very few true warriors. I have seen it even in the Olympic realm. I was a physiotherapist in the German Olympic Center of Training for Fencing in Tauberbischofsheim. This is okay, this is the end now. When you become Beamte of sport, now, you get your money on your food from the government. So, okay, remember that. So this is the time of April. And then the transformation from the lion to the child, which is very important. So many sportsmen, so many warriors today are misused potential warriors, young men, strong, full of testosterone and body power, because they can still be born today, even though the rest of the Europe is decadent, especially the institution. But the heritage of the Goths, as of the Slavic warriors and of the Spartans and Greek heroes and Roman heroes and so on, they still are mixing in the genetic pool, and sometimes through a nice coincidence, a strong young boy is born with a also stubborn soul and a kind of inner certainty that he wants to be different. He must be different. Many want, but only a few can. This is a famous Nietzsche quote. Because many can, interested in these projects of being strong, being a warrior, and they want. But when they try, they cannot do it. Unfortunately, I must confess to you, I have seen some 15 would-be warriors in my life who were following me for some time on my journeys, on my trainings, especially here in Constance, But they were not, You are all, at least you have motivation, your own motivation. But you are still young to dream that you can do it, and there is always waiting for you a trap of the institutions, of the families, of the, you want to come home and be, happy and be accepted and recognized by the community. This is mainly, the feeling that if you don't do it, you will not find a woman with whom you could live your old age and have a family and stuff like that. Well, if you are really like that, then you are not a warrior, a complete warrior, because you have to, even in this impossible realm today, where you have to stand against all, as I had to stand against the families, against the state, against the herd, against the masses. But I have achieved it. At least for 1 year or 1.5 years, I was living in a pure, complete, living mythology of Jason and Medea. Okay, you also have to know the Greek mythology. That's why we call our project the New Argonauts. The New Argonauts are men of the day who are sportsmen and philosophers, and maybe even, some of them may be good in making money, but they discover with Nietzsche that they do not want to fight against the establishment by endlessly talking and persuading and trying, because the establishment, and this is supported by the masses of everyday people, they will destroy you because they envy you, and if they cannot make you, bow and become like one of them, they will hate you. It's very important to know. And you will never achieve flowers of your dreams if you want to do it with them and amongst them. You have to put 7 mountains and 7 rivers and 7 seas between you and the masses, and then live it on your own. And this is very difficult because also Nietzsche was dreaming slightly. He was also decadent, partly. And he achieved this, in a literary form. Here he was living like that, partly, at least always for a few weeks in his summer and in his winter. He was completely fit and was running around the mountains and around the seas in Italy and in Switzerland, and he did it. And then he wrote about it, but he could not find the warrior school, he could not find the temples, he could not find the woman who would follow, he could not find anybody. He didn't even have friends that would understand him. Like I have similar situation. I write long emails, make films and poems and everything, and I always get like a message like, hey, well, sehr gut. Ich habe keine Zeit. Okay. Or no words at all. Später, I will write you, now I'm on the road, and stuff like that. Okay. Bad, because I'm a madman, because I'm a truly inspired warrior of the future, Zarathustra's child. I don't care, because I get the satisfaction from making it. And soon the time will come when my work shall be received more, respectfully, because Europe is sliding completely away into decadence, and you have to separate from this decadence and find a temple and a school which will attract. And I tell you, we will have good relationship with Russia. I speak Russian. And on the south of Crete, it is Orthodox, good relationships to the Orthodox Russian Church. And we shall have good relationship to the United States, because already in 2016, I can prove it by showing a video that I made 2016 when Trump was trying to get his first presidency. This is okay, 10 years ago, almost 8 years ago. I made a video and a lecture about Trump being a prototype of the Superman. Okay. One who is different, who is stubborn, who does not care, who even has a certain kind of pleasure in resisting all norms. Okay, and I think when even the United States and America unite, because you cannot be a leading superpower if you don't have true man. Europe is just sliding into decadence, talking, and is governed by mostly decadent women. And because men are decadent and they are easily controlled by women. So that it's almost impossible for you to find fairies like I did. There is a famous quote from Nietzsche. Zarathustra has found, when he was on the road to his children, he wanted to find disciples and friends. He discovers he cannot find them unless he makes them himself. So he has to impregnate them with his example. You have to take the girlfriend, the woman, and run away with her, fascinate her so much that she consents and goes with you for a long journey. And the long journey amongst the forests and the lakes and the rivers and the mountains and the suns and the moons will be the power that will change her, because she is potentially the daughter of Mother Earth, the priestesses of the great Mother of Crete. So, So November, you can exercise on the beach Bergon 1, Bergon 2, and on Chrysostomos beach. We can sit on the balcony, legs up with guitars, and don't expect that you will have a cognitive, kind of reasonable insight in all of this, and then you will say, okay, maybe it would be a good place to invest my money, or maybe I can hide here when I'm old, or whatever. It must be a kind of passionate vision that comes and goes, which raises you from the balcony, and you run to the beach, you raise your arms, you run on the sand, you throw yourself into the lake or the sea, and you see it. Naturally, it would be much easier for boys who are like 10 or 11, 15, okay, but that's why it's called school. You must be prototypes if you can, or you must be so wise that you watch it all with understanding, and even if you have only like 5 minutes, crazies and visions and power surges, then you have to support it. No? So the idea is that the project in New Argonauts in the Hotel Svinas with 30 beautiful rooms is fantastic. You must look in my videos. Can be done immediately, starting in November and then on December and so on. Yeah? We need an organizer who can do it in internet, and then I will be there. Okay. Then, if it is possible, all winter until April, let us say March. Then the summer comes, and the Hotel Svinas will be a normal summer hotel, which makes money for the hotel. And then we can have a look at the Villa Kotsakis, which is nearby, which can be bought, obtained for some money now. Okay. So this is the day. Message from Heros Pavlos. I did all the morning exercises, and then I lie on the Bardic divan and send a message to the potential members and supporters of the warrior school. The warrior who is now in the Balkan fighting the tournament in tennis, Semir, for Angel Gabriel, which is okay for the time being. Then Andrejs, who is somewhere in Latvia lifting his fitness machines or whatever he's doing, like a fitness trainer. And Chris, who is bicycling somewhere around Teide, the volcano on the Tenerife and Canary Islands, and Leo, who is traveling somewhere through Europe with 2 smartphones in his head and commanding his business, the software, and Christopher, whom I shall see next Monday on the tennis court number 4 in Constance Miller on the red sand of warriors, and he is going to run like hell, changing rocket from left to right. Okay, he can do it. Okay, he can do it. So have a nice day. And don't forget to be also pure and childish, and do not let your cognition, that is your reasonable doubts, always to pull you back from your dreams, fantasies, desires, because this, if you do that, it will eat you up, and you will become so reasonable that you dry out and they put you into a coffin too early. There are mysteries that I have lived through many years, that if you change the vibration of your soul, into a childish quality, and that was what Nietzsche understood. This is not such a fantasy of mine. The greatest philosopher who had the sharpest mind of them all, who is the father of the re-evaluation of all values, who has divided European history into two, before Nietzsche and after Nietzsche. He himself came to this conclusion. It is stupid for a warrior to die physically on the battlefront fighting the enemies. This is squandering of energy, a useless loss of energy, because all happens necessarily. The time where warriors could really win all the battles and live on the castles and fortresses and palaces, the rest of their life is gone, because the modern technology makes it impossible for one warrior or 100 warriors. You have seen the film The Last Samurai. Okay, this is true. Against modern technology, the best warriors will always lose. And who is commanding the technology? The masses, the people who never have undergone the samurai training. And then behind them, the business, the money, the banks, the corporations. This all is necessary. And only if you become yourself inspired and you live it without fighting the enemy, but you live it as a kind of ritual, a kind of admiration of Mother Nature, then something will happen. The Mother Nature herself will change the course of, let us say, metabolism. This is my vision I have had. If we live it truly, embracing the mother, the wind, the sky, the sun, and working also with animals on that farm and at Hotel Kotsakis, that we could have some sheep, we could have some horses and riding horses. It's typical tourist also attraction on Crete, running horses on the beach. Okay, only then the metabolic change, the soul quality, the vibration of the morphogenetic field of the soul will necessarily change the metabolic quality of your cells, and you will be healthy, you will be strong. And if you are tired, you will know techniques how to reconnect again to the source of the power, as I do here on the Bardic Divan. And then this will send vibration and transformation of the largest soul, of the I would not say of Europe, but of certain locations where you will have those schools. And this is the only possible change for our future, for Europe. The vibration of this warrior school will attract those rare young boys who are like ourselves, at least like myself. I have been in this school. You have seen other videos about my fencing training, like 10 years in the Spartan warrior school in Prague in the 70s. And when there are real warriors, there will also be true women and fairies, because today it is absolutely impossible. I mean, I know that you are young, some of you, and you are searching for a girlfriend or a woman, and you see it all around you. It's impossible. They are talking, all of them, all the time, and listening to smartphones all the time, and they are connected with their friends, and they. This is Tratschen in German, nonsense. You have to, refuse this. You have to make yourself to a warrior and then be on the road like it was in the classical time. And then on the road, she will appear, and then you have to take her, even though she does not understand it all, and go with her on the journey. And every morning and every evening, you have to live this warrior type. You have to be strong, you have to be, a good teacher, you have to be a poet. But you have to do it all for yourself and not for her. Only that will then fascinate her, because she will become then also a priestess of the Great Mother, if she has the potential. Okay, so, and then I tell you, when the boys, young men, go through the schools, they will travel, and they will find their girlfriends like this, and then this will become a myth, a fairy tale. And this is what we need. There will be something like, there is a place where you can go, where all of us wanted to go when we were younger. We could not find it because the time was not right. Time was still, not so decadent as it is now. Now we stand on the verge of, a real decline of the human race into some robots and transhumanism and some mixing of races and some, Chinese kind of style, total control. Europe. So you don't have to fight against the decadence. You have to create a temple or a school or a place where it is different, and then it will radiate, and then life itself, which is the biosphere of this planet, will help you. First in your own body, you will become healthy, then in your soul, you will become creative, and then in your gardens and in your, workshops and in your schools, it will be all beautiful. And you have to know that the enemy is in you, like, this kind of melancholy, like this kind of reasonable ideas. Well, this is all crazy. I have to pay my taxes and I have to go working at 8 o'clock and I have to... This you have to learn to overcome. This is all around in the air, this kind of evil and empty and depressed kind of melancholic and superficial, oberflächlich, superficial way of communicating, and the routines and no time and running to and fro and not seeing the beauty of nature. Because you say, this is not pragmatic. This brings me no money if I stand here and admire the spring flowers. Go now to the forests here in Middle Europe. The forests are now putting on the green leaves. And if you go, yesterday I slept and I lie down, meditated, and I slept for a while in the Loretto here on a silent place, away from the roads, on the dry leaves of the last, autumn, and the strong sun and the birds singing and the complete silence in the forest. Oh my! And the crown, and up above me, the slim branches of the trees are getting green, and warm wind is blowing through that. And I feel that my brain is, filled with that. The soul field is spreading. Well, you have to be somehow in your way feeling or even doing similar stuff if you want that the warrior school can be your home. If not a real or geographic home, that at least home of your soul which you carry with yourself, and do it anywhere you can. So this concludes the message of Eros Pavlos to the future members of the warrior school, where the lions can also be children.